Hello, how are you? How would you like to hear a story about you? Because my story and your story have similarities. That is, we both were born into this world and we grew up under a certain measure of control, whether it be from our parents, from siblings, family, relatives, friends, from school. And as we grew up, we conformed to this control to some extent, but some of us decided to look outside the box, and some of us decided to jump outside of the box and escape from it. And this is my particular story. It's called Cult Escape. I wrote it as a campaign to create awareness of what's going on in these religious cults. And so as I read this book, I'm going to narrate it. It's raw. I haven't done this before. I'm not professional. It's going to just come out as it comes. I will be adding things which I haven't written in the book as I recall them. And there might be a few more confessions also coming out which I didn't put in here for various reasons. So sit back, relax, have a drink, and enjoy the introduction to Cult Escape. Cheers to you. Right. Introduction. Have you ever wondered what it must be like to be born into a strict religious cult? My journey starts as an 8-day-old baby when my mother hands me to a small swarthy man with dyed black hair. Suddenly all goes quiet, and to my shock I find I cannot breathe. What is happening? I am being held underwater in a full bath in my home. Now I am fully immersed into a religious cult, just like my parents and grandparents were before me. 50 years later, a bit more now since I wrote this, I am still here to tell you the story about growing up in this 45,000 member group that was called the Exclusive Brethren. You will get to know about my experiences of being brainwashed and my life of being coercively controlled via one man, the universal leader, also called the Man of God. I will take you step by step through the journey of my escape at the age of 22, along with the challenges, the damaging psychological effects, and the eventual healing and freedom that I am so blessed to have found. Over the years since escaping, the subject of my past has come up many times, as you can imagine, and I am used to the reaction of people, which ranges from shock, disturbance, disbelief, and tears. The people being in tears after hearing some of the things that went on. You might find it hard to believe what has been going on behind the closed doors of some of these secret groups. In case you have not heard of the Exclusive Brethren, I start with a brief overview to give context to the story. I will show you how generally religious cults control people's lives through indoctrination, control, and evolving laws. I had to attend 11 meetings a week, 52 weeks a year. I will tell you why my school years were endured more than enjoyed. It felt like I was walking around with a tattoo on my forehead that said separation from evil. I recount awkward and embarrassing moments which continued into my work life. I was bound to a lifestyle of having to conform to strict rules about clothing, hair, relationships, technology, and much more. Yes, also where to live, where to eat, where to sleep, and what to believe, and much more. Then there were the dire consequences for disobedience to any of these rules. I have since deconstructed my escape, showing the deep psychological struggle that felt like I was a rope in a tug of war. There was no way I could lose my parents. The rope snapped when I hit the tipping point on my 22nd birthday. However, there was still the unthinkable matter of saying goodbye to my parents for maybe the last time. You know what? I said to them on that day, I'll be back in 2 weeks. 32 years later, hasn't yet happened. Anyway, going public with this book about my past makes me feel naked and exposed, and I invite you to have a look at the private parts of my life, of which I am no longer ashamed. Bearing all I have discovered brings healing and freedom that only honesty and transparency can bring. I'd recommend it to anyone. For 2 years after my cult escape, I took a walk on the wild side. Now, at last, I was able to explore and experiment with all the evils of this world that I had been forbidden to enjoy. I even went as far, are you ready for this, as frequenting restaurants, football matches and the cinema. I had been like a tightly coiled spring that was suddenly released. Guess how long it took me to lose my virginity? How did I end up alone in London one night at a live sex show? How did I get to be taken hostage by a gang and held at knife point for 4 hours? And why did I run up a phone bill of £3,500? I'm here to tell you that there is life outside the cult you are in if you're in one. You may not know you're in one if you're in one. In fact, you probably won't know if you're in one if you were in one, because no one calls himself a cult. Anyway, you might have to make a few mistakes along the way, though you can learn about a few of mine, if you like. I invite you to explore questions such as, what really is a cult? What is the blind spot that causes a cult to start? How to identify if you, yes, you, are in a cult right now. And how to escape any cult that you could be in. Because, yes, although I use my exclusive brethren experience as my reference, because I can, there are millions of people right now who are suffering in silence, fear and ignorance, whose souls and lives are under the control of a leader and a system who claim to be right. They all claim to be right. Final note. This book will show that no matter how trapped, how upset and how damaged you might feel today, there is hope for you. The past does not equal the future. My journey to freedom was unique to me, but has principles that can apply directly to your situation. My desire and prayer is that the talons of man's lust for control and power that has wounded, scarred and destroyed so many families, marriages and individuals will be exposed for what they truly are. Then new hope will emerge, and the hearts of the fathers and mothers will be turned back to the children, and the hearts of the children will be turned back to the fathers and mothers. So that is the introduction of Cult Escape. And subscribe, and if you'd like to like and comment to add some thoughts yourself, feel free to. And the next video, of course, will be chapter 1, which happens to be called A Remote Control. What is that?